Okay, so let us discuss communication across professions. Apparently, the global workplace forces us to improve our communication skills. Irrespective of the field, job, and expertise, you need to be an effective communicator in order to move up the career ladder. So, it is clearly stated that as future professional of this society, we need to be both efficient and effective communicators in terms of writing or in speaking. And that's the reason why we need to be particular with business letters and get engaged with business writing. So what is business writing? It refers to professional communication including genres such as policy recommendations, advertisements, press release, application letters, emails, and memos. Business writers and agencies tend to value writing that communicates effectively, efficiently, and succinctly. A business communicator or writer may use the following forms of evidence, which are statistics, exploration of past trends, examples, analogy, comparison, assessment of risk or consequences, or citation of authoritative figures or sources. Well, in addition, a business letter has a language of its own, which is clearly different from personal letters. So it's different from excuse letter, love letters, and the likes. Several improvements are being made on a daily basis in the form and style rather of business letters. And in order to make them more, impressive, meaningful, and compact, a business letter is drafted after proper thinking and planning so that the subject content can be presented in a systematic, logical way. So the message that is conveyed in this type of letters need to be needs to be clear and free from doubt, since this one is being can be considered as one of the forms of technical writing. So there are several reasons for creating and sending business letters. Business often develop sales letters, business proposals, invitations to business events, and send to their business partners or clients. And in addition, business letters are the cheapest and most extensive form of communication all over the world. In addition, um, the arrangement of the form and style of business letters have made them more famous and acceptable by everyone. Well, apparently we may not notice, but I guess have already being engaged in writing business letter. Talking about writing it, we can utilize the OABC pattern. So it's the opening, agenda, body, then the closing part of your letter. And in the revising, we use the cloud method, which is coherent, length, organized, unified, and developed. So one of the forms of business letters that is helpful to us would be the application letters. So when writing an application letter, remember that you probably have competition. So application letters, this is the letter that we write as we seek a position in a certain company. So this is the letter that attach sometimes with our resume or with our cover letters. So your audience is a professional who screens and hires job applicants. So that is someone who may look through dozens or even hundreds of other applicants on the day that she receives yours. So what is the thing that you need to do? Well, as you write your application letter, be sure to complete three tasks. So what are those? First, catch the reader's attention favorably, convince the reader that you are a qualified candidate for the job, and request an interview. So the immediate objective of your application letter and accompanying resume is to attract this person's attention or to land an interview. That's the purpose of the application letter. Okay. And your ultimate goal, just like what I mentioned a while back, is to catch an interview or obtain an interview. So what are the things that we need to see in your application letter? Identify the job title and let the recipient know how you heard about it. Summarize your qualifications. Okay, again, it's your qualifications that you will summarize, not your biography or autobiography. So what are those qualifications? Your work experiences, the activities that show your leadership skills, and your, of course, your educational background, trainings, the seminars that you have attended, and the likes. Refer the reader to your enclosed resume. So you to tell them that, hey, I have my resume attached in this letter, so kindly check on that. And ask for an interview, stating where you can be reached and when you will be available. If your prospective employer is located in another city and you plan to visit the area, mention the dates for your trip. So you need to let the employer feel that you are willing, okay, to apply and willing to land an. If you're applying for a specific job, include any information pertinent to the position that is not included in your resume. So you could also put some related trainings or related seminars that you have attended or you have attained, okay, if it is not connected or if it is not included in the resume. So that's an application letter. After application letter will be cover letters. It identifies an item being sent. So the person to whom it is being sent and the reason for its being sent. A cover letter provides a permanent record of the transmittal for both the writer and reader. Keep your remarks brief. Your opening should explain what you are sending and why. And in an optional second paragraph, you might include a summary of the information you are sending. So it's a cover letter. It is the letter that will sum up, okay, the things or would somehow it would let the employer or the interview you okay the summary of those papers that you are about to send or you're about to pass. A letter accompanying a proposal, for example, might point out a proposal that might be particular interest to the reader. The letter could then go on on to present a key point or two explaining why the writer's firm is the best one for the job. And the closing paragraph should contain acknowledgments, offer additional assistance, or express the hope that the material will fulfill its purpose. So coming from its name, it's just a cover. So that will just simply give the employer or interviewee a glimpse, okay, on what to expect on the following papers. No? After that will be the memorandum or memoranda. Memorandum is a note, and it's a note or a record for future use. So more likely, memorandum can be seen in an organization or an institution. So memorandum is the efficient way of communication. It is an intra-office tool. So this tool is the tool that we use that a certain organization use, be it diagonal communication or be it an upward or downward communication, but more likely it's a downward communication, no? So a memorandum most of the time comes from the head going to the employees and the likes. So it has numbers of purposes. In simple words, a memorandum is a written message or information from one person or department to another, same business. So it is a less formal than a letter. Memorandum is often abbreviated as memo. More likely, it's just a memo. Effective memos clearly state the objective in the first sentence. So what's the purpose of memorandum or memoranda? So a person writes a memo with some purposes in the mind. It is used to inform, to inquire, to report, to give suggestions, to remind, instruct. Uh, it can promote goodwill using a memo and to the idea. So there are a lot of things that we could do. Okay, we're going to use a memorandum or a memo, but to set your expectations in a corporate world or corporate job or in an organization, more likely si memorandum is just being used just to spread the objective of coming meeting, no, or just to inform people or inform the employee that they're going to have break, an academic is if you are in a school or in an academy, or if there would be um, rules to be implemented, and so more likely siya ginagamit. That's how we use no, memorandum or memos in an organization. After that will be the minutes of the meeting. Minutes are the official written record of the meeting. Minutes are generally written in a simple past tense. They serve as a permanent record. Again, it's the permanent record of the topics considered, conclusions reached, actions taken, and assignments given. They're also a record of which individuals made contributions to the meetings in terms of new ideas and how those ideas were received. There is a vote taken at the meeting. The minutes serve as a record of voted for and voted against a proposal, which can be taken into consideration in future when the consequences of either implementing or rejecting that proposal come to fruition. Well, in a nutshell, when we say minutes of that serves as the record, just like what I mentioned a while back, it's the permanent record, official record of the meeting. So whichever happens on that meeting must be must be recorded. Okay, so what time did the meeting start, or who are those people attended, are those people who did in this certain proposal, and who are those people go against that proposal, and what is the summary of the meeting? I mean, what is the conclusion in the meeting? What are the things? What are the things that needs to be retained and the likes? So everything that is happening in that certain meeting must be listed, and that is through the minutes of the meeting. So who takes the minutes? Some minutes are kept by a recording secretary, so more likely it's the secretary who's doing the minutes of the meeting. Employees specifically tasked with taking minutes, keeping all records and files, tracking attendance and voting records, and reporting to appropriate designated parties. However, minutes may be kept by an individual in attendance at the meeting and are generally distributed to all members of the unit represented at the meeting. So more likely it's the secretary or someone who is assigned to the minutes of the meeting. So there are main parts of minutes of the meeting, the heading part. We also have the participants, the approval of previous minutes, action items, and then announcements, next meeting, adjournment, and signature line, the name of the person who prepared the minutes and the date they were submitted. So these are the guidelines for writing meeting minutes. Person writing the minutes should have the capability of doing so in real time. Again, you need to write real time. Okay. Concentrate, or we need be minutes should concentrate on results and goal-oriented action. So those are the focus of it. Good minutes are brief and to the point. They are not verbatim accounts, but rather concise, coherent, and summarized. So it doesn't necessarily need for that minutes to be, to be verbatim, or you're going to transcribe everything, right? Every words that were being uttered by those people who spoke in the meeting. So it doesn't need to be like that. Just need to be uh, concise, coherent. Okay. Minutes can be used as source material for a report or memo. However, they should be written for the purpose of recapitulating events for those who attended a meeting rather than for those who did not. And minutes should be completed and distributed promptly after the meeting. That's why you need to make sure that you are writing real time. Okay? Because that needs to be submitted promptly. So that's it for the communication across profession. And the one thing that I want you to bring now as we part ways, always be professional, always be smart rather, and be professional. That's it, and thank you so much.